We've got an update on LA Knight's reported backstage heat after a Royal Rumble controversy. A major NXT call-up is expected soon, and WWE have quietly released an NXT star. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. Now, following this weekend's Royal Rumble, there was reports from PW Insider stating that Drew McIntyre had stormed out of the Royal Rumble and was pretty upset with how things went, particularly his elimination and how his time in the match had gone. McIntyre's unhappiness stemming from something going wrong in that spot, reportedly screaming, cursing when he got to the back, with someone trying to get their moves in at the expense of everyone else in the match. And it seemed like that was aimed at LA Knight. That's what it looked like it was going. But that's apparently not the case.
Yeah, in an update to this situation, Bodyslam.net has reported that LA Knight does not have any heat, is the quotation on him, internally for the the Drew McIntyre elimination spot with Damian Priest and Jey Uso this past Saturday at the Royal Rumble. McIntyre was not backstage at last night's Raw in Cleveland, Ohio. Ohio is
good. It's good.
during the show. Hashtag We Want Drew was trending worldwide, though PW Insider recently reported that the plan is for McIntyre to become part of SmackDown to go off and face Damian Priest at WrestleMania.
Yes, so that looks like the match that we're going to be getting. Damian Priest and his spot at Rumble, the elimination, did feel kind of unceremonious. It kind of just felt like it was a nothing moment.
Yeah.
And Drew's had maybe the best year of his career, right? Yeah. And it kind of just fell flat for me. Obviously, there was that spot, and you've seen clips of it, where you see LA Knight and Logan Paul brawling sort of in the middle of the ring. It kind of throws off the momentum, but it didn't throw it off too much. It still felt like a nothing spot for me.
Yeah, I've flip-flopped between who I believe to be in the wrong here. I initially thought that LA Knight and Logan Paul, because LA Knight stalks Logan Paul from the rear a bit too long, that maybe the lads who were involved in the Drew elimination were like, oh, get on with your spot so we can get our one done. But then you're thinking to yourself, why don't they just wait? It felt like maybe the three lads, Damian Priest, Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre rushed to their spot, and LA Knight and Logan Paul were doing a planned spot they had planned. I don't know who you believe.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because obviously, you know, what was the timing meant to be? A Rumble is very, very hard to plan. You've got all these sort of moving parts there, but even like for camera-wise, it just didn't feel like it was ready for the spot of Drew and Priest's moment. In terms of them as a match going forward, if Drew's off to SmackDown, if the report is to be believed, is that a big enough match for Drew? That seems to be part of the frustrations as well, sources saying it was a nothing match.
I can see why Drew would be aggrieved because it's not got a title attached to it, you would assume, this far out from WrestleMania. But in terms of if Drew is going to be on SmackDown and looking at the rest of the SmackDown roster, Damian Priest's going to be up there.
He's one of the top guys.
He's one of the main eventers, so I guess it's how much you put stock into a title, which in wrestling is obviously a lot.
it's the top thing. For me, we saw the match just last year. We saw it Clash at the Castle, so it feels like it's kind of step backs for, I don't know, for both of them maybe. Like Drew's the bigger name out of the two of them.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's been there, we've done that. Do we want to see it at WrestleMania?
Maybe it's boiling down to the story as well, because obviously there's got to be more of an issue than just, you put me out the Rumble, you bastard. Let's fight at WrestleMania. There's got to be some more there. So maybe that creative wasn't up to what Drew was expecting for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that could well be it. But staying with some Royal Rumble post news, obviously Alexa Bliss is back in the WWE. Had that insane pop in the Rumble match. I don't think anyone expected it to be that loud.
Pop of the night, even bigger than Jay's, I'd imagine.
Yeah, bigger than Jay's, bigger than Joe Hendry. It was all Alexa Bliss. According to reports from Fightful Select, though, WWE has hammered out a new 5-year deal with Bliss on the day of the Royal Rumble, alongside her representatives from Paragon Talent. That's Mojo Rawley. Good lad, Mojo.
Stay
hyped. The deal was signed Saturday. Alexa flew out for the show in Indianapolis the same day and appeared in the Royal Rumble. Happy to see Alexa back?
Oh, yes. I think people forget how good she was back in the day.
Good, yeah.
Like the loss of steam in the most recent run before the one on Saturday kicked off. I think I'm glad that's been forgotten about, because it was sad towards the end that compared to what she was doing in like 2016, 17, 18, maybe into 19 as well. But yeah, this leads on from a story brought to you yesterday as well, that maybe that Shotzi was apparently in Alexa Bliss's spot for the Rumble when rehearsals and stuff were going on, and nobody knew that Alexa was turning up. So this really is a shoot signing. Yeah,
a shoot signing.
Yes.
Again, going forward, what do we see for her? I feel like it's an Elimination Chamber spot. I feel like that makes the most sense for her. But it was great to see her back. It's just crazy that we've not seen her in 2 years.
Yeah, it is. Time flies.
2 years.
We're all nearly dead. But it makes you wonder what she's going to do, because on the T-shirt that they released, the little Lily doll has a 6 in the eye. But now the White 6 are on SmackDown and she's on Raw.
She's on Raw. Maybe we'll see something. Maybe that's it shows how last minute it actually was.
Yeah.
Ross, I want you to take this next story.
I
though.
know.
You've gone full out on this.
I know, I've paid my respect. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has reported, I can't believe I'm reading this out today, that Duke Hudson is no longer with the WWE, being quietly released by the company in January. Hudson has not wrestled since an NXT house show in November. He last wrestled on NXT TV in September. He lost to Ridge Holland in the build-up to what has been the biggest booking misstep of the Shawn Michaels era of NXT in terms of destroying the most popular faction in the world of wrestling just to get Ridge Holland a title match and then have Ridge Holland lose that title match, and now Ridge Holland is lost in the mix. But to see someone who is 6'5", Australian, good-looking, muscles, I've compared him
charisma,
to this is a terribly aged quote, but a 1980s Hulk Hogan before we knew he was an arsehole, and a Dusty Rhodes, but wrapped up in an Australian package. This was Duke Hudson, and he's gone. I can't believe nobody in that company can find anything for someone like Duke Hudson.
It's ridiculous. As you say, he's got all these skills. He's tall. Why? That should be enough.
But he's charismatic. And he has the bands.
Mr. Chase.
He was the MVP.
It's so good. It is a shame to see him go. I feel like he will be missed on NXT. I mean, you're the big NXT fan.
Yeah.
He was a missed presence over the past few months.
He has claim to the title of Mr. NXT. This is from 2.0 onwards. He's one of the leading lights of that show for a couple of years now. It's a shame he never really... Because he could be a world champion. Look at him, man.
He could be.
Honestly, if you don't watch NXT, this guy's got it all. So wherever he's going to go next, he's going to land on his feet.
It does make me worry for the rest of the former Chase U. What's next for Andre Chase if you're getting rid of Duke Hudson?
Well, Andre's still missing. He's there in the background of shot. He was there in the locker room looking like he just drank a full bottle of whiskey. You know what I'm saying?
That's because Duke's no longer there to keep him on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, Thea Hale's not been on TV either. I saw that she was at a music festival or something over the weekend. My goodness me.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Anyway, staying with NXT, we do have news about a call-up to the main roster soon. This is, of course, talking about Roxanne Perez, who was in the Royal Rumble this weekend, had an incredibly impressive showing, lasting an hour and 7 minutes, I believe, was the length of time she was in there.
The longest of all the ladies.
Longest of every single Rumble so far for the women's Rumbles. The Fightful report suggesting that Perez's Royal Rumble appearance meant that she is all but confirmed for a call-up to the main roster. Again, you know your NXT. How this feels overdue, right?
I don't know, because she's only 23.
It's ridiculously young, but she's really good.
She is ridiculous for the age that she is. She's obviously been one of the standouts in NXT for the last couple of years. Her heel turn has really been the making of her. I think the wishy-washy sort of babyface kind of thing. It doesn't really get you hooked in, but the heel Roxanne definitely does. Outstanding wrestler, outstanding character work. It's just going to go straight at the top, Fraser.
I feel like the fact that it was her and Charlotte having that thing in the Rumble shows how much faith they have in her, and especially letting her go that full length of the Rumble. That's quite a thing for your first night on the main roster.
Might be the summer feud of Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair hopefully doesn't beat Tiffany Stratton, although you always know there's a chance for Charlotte Flair, and maybe Roxanne's her first challenger, because Roxanne, I think, will be busy stand and deliver weekend with Bayley, because they're setting that match up.
That's a very, very good shout coming up post WrestleMania.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'll be maybe about what happens there. Yes. Anyway, that's all we've got for you just now. We've of course got WTF moments on the channel very, very soon on patreon.com/Cultaholic. We've got wrestlers of the month. We've got what happened at the Royal Rumble. We've got, as Ross said earlier, you can go back and watch the entire live stream and watch the Rumble too. Again, I thought it was a very, very, very good show.
It was a nice evening had by all, yes.
We've got the podcast, the brand new podcast, going into the Royal Rumble completely. That is on the channel as well right now. And if there's any more news, we will be back later on today.